our previous video, we have placed into battle the Nikon Z9 versus Canon R3. Surely, we were able to note a lot of differences considering that both were not released in the same year and also not in the same price range. Now let us take on the Nikon Z9 versus Canon R3 and discover what the differences are, taking into consideration the fact that they were both released in 2021 with only a gap of 1 month. So before we get on with this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell. When we compare the Z9 with the R5, we were able to assess that its main advantage over the latter is faster shooting speed, longer battery life, low light help and quality, unlimited video record limit, tilting screen, and higher sensor resolution. As we go through the main differences between the Z9 and the R3, let us see if the Z9 will still be able to win over these specs. Of course, we have to talk about what are the common grounds between these two powerhouse cameras. First, let's tackle those which are also similar with the Z9 and the R5, and now with the R3. All three of them are able to give outputs with no sensor crop. You will be able to take good shots with these full-frame mirrorless cameras. Also, all three of them have 2 slots for the memory card. With the Canon R3 and R5, you have 1 slot for a CF Express or a Type B card and another slot for SD cards. With the Nikon Z9, you have 2 slots for the CF Express Type B cards. This is but a matter of preference on your end. Now let's move on to the factors which were different between the Z9 and the R5 but are now common features of the Z9 and the R3. One is the limitation on video recording. If before this is considered an edge of the Nikon camera with the R3, they are now at par since both of them do not have that 30-minute video recording limit. Another one is weight and size. One of the reasons that you might have chosen the R5 over the Z9 is the weight since it is almost half. However, with the Z9 and the R3, they are approximately the same, with the Z9 at 1,340 grams, while the R3 is at 1,015 grams. Battery life was also one of the advantages of the Z9 before. However, the R3 is now on the same level. Nikon is able to take 740 frames, while Canon can take up to 860. The R3 may have a longer battery life, however, the difference is not that significant when compared with the R5, which is about half of R3's and Z9's capability. Last is the price. The difference is not that significant. The Nikon Z9 retails at $5,500, while the Canon R3 is priced at $6,000. Now that we are done with the common grounds, let us now talk about where the R3 and the Z9 differ, and we will try to assess what are each of these cameras' strengths. Let us start with the strong suits of Nikon. We were able to collect 3 major advantages of the Z9. First is the sensor. The Canon R3 is built with a back illuminated stacked 24.1 megapixel CMOS image sensor. However, the Nikon Z9 is constructed with a stacked 45.7 megapixel CMOS full-frame sensor. Relying on the numbers attached to these sensors, we can say that Nikon has this point. It is also because of the quality of the sensor that Nikon has also bagged the video quality aspect of this battle. The R3 can give you 8 to 12-bit 6K Ultra HD videos at 60 frames per second, and at 120 frames per second, it can still give you a 4K resolution footage. However, the Nikon Z9 has a point in this area. It can take 10-bit 8K Ultra HD video at 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. Furthermore, when talking about video recording, it took its design to the next level to efficiently dissipate the heat that may be experienced by the camera. Thus, even if you record your videos for 2 hours straight, the Z9 will not be overheating. Another point bagged by Nikon is the algorithm used in their autofocus systems. Yes, both of these cameras built their autofocus smart enough to detect different objects such as the body, the eyes, wheels, and helmets. But Nikon is at an advantage on this one because the detection is done automatically, while with the R3, you have to manually set it up and specify in the menu which object you would like the camera to detect. Now moving on to the other side of the Nikon Z9 versus Canon R3 battle, let us see where the R3 shines. We recently just talked about the intelligence of the autofocus system where Nikon was at an edge. However, when we talk about the eye control autofocus, Canon has this one since this is a unique feature with the brand. This system will instruct the camera to detect the eyeball and to move the point of focus toward the subject that is being tracked. Basically, once it distinguishes the eyes, it will follow the movement of its owner. So even if the subject is moving, so long as the camera detects the eye, it will continue to establish focus on that subject. Another advantage of the R3 here is that it can detect the eyes of the birds, allowing you to not lose contact once they're in flight or in motion. And speaking of motion, the in-body stabilization is also where Canon got another point. Yes, both of these cameras have 5-axis stabilization. However, the R3 has a higher compensation rating at 8 EV, while the Z9 is only at 6 EV. As to the image quality, although Nikon has bagged both the higher sensor performance and capability as well as the video resolution, when it comes to sensitivity and oversampling, Canon has the point. The R3 is much more sensitive in low light as it can capture for as low as -7.5 EV, while the Z9 is at -6.5 EV. Oversampling is also an important aspect as it tries to maximize the resolution of the image sensor. The Z9 uses its 8K resolution video capability to create the 4K footage at 30 frames per second, while in the R3, you can do oversampling in 6K and 4K, even up to 60p. Oversampling makes the most out of your sensor to create a more precise video or picture. The other point of the Canon R3 goes to those aspects that let you use your camera conveniently, such as the Viewfinder and the LCD monitors. Starting with the Viewfinder, Canon is at an advantage when it comes to resolution. It is at 5.76 m dots, while the Z9 is only at 3.69 m dots. The Viewfinder's resolution is pretty important to get higher accuracy of the shots you're taking. However, when it comes to magnification, Nikon is slightly highest at 0.8 times versus Canon's 0.76 times. As to the screen, both have LCD monitors. Like the Viewfinder, the monitors not only serve a purpose with the on-screen setting and buttons, but also display your takes for better accuracy. Canon has a better rear monitor resolution at 4.15 m dots versus Nikon's 2.1 m dots, almost half of the former's. But as to the size, both are 3.2 inches. With the moving ability of the screen, Canon is also at an advantage. Nikon's is able to move at 4 axes while Canon's screen is able to move at multiple angles up to 180 degrees. That ends the Nikon Z9 versus Canon R3 battle. To sum everything up, if your main goal is a better sensor for the best image quality, intelligent autofocus system, and high resolution videos, then the Nikon Z9 would probably be your pick. But if you cling on to sensitivity to low light conditions, eye control autofocus, in-body stabilization, plus the resolutions of the Viewfinder and the monitors, then the Canon R3 is for you. Both of these are powerful cameras from two giants in the field of imaging. Whichever it is that you may choose between the two will not be a waste. As we always mention in this channel, the best camera is the one that perfectly suits your needs. But before you go, please don't forget to like this video. We also have a lot of videos where we battle out different powerhouse cameras, plus other cool topics, so kindly visit and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of our latest ones. See you in the next video!